morning, everyone, from not so sunny Florida. Not at all. It's already pouring like hell here. Anyway, we're bracing and hoping everything, well, it's going to hit somewhere. You always hope it doesn't hit you. And but for whoever it does, good luck. Even for ourselves, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so the question here this morning is the market ready and now poised to make new all-time highs? Are all the concerns, the gyrations, been digested? And the China situation, which seems to raise its ugly head and be forgotten about from day to day, is something of the past. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, the news just kind of says less tension, so the market is acting well here, moving up. Just looking at the futures here of the Dow, we've got a beautiful, big, wide range green bar here on the weekly time frame, which strongly suggests it's going to go up. Sometimes you get an inside bar, some consolidation. So we'll see what next week brings. And but just looking at this pattern, you got to pull back, a higher low, a giant bar, bottoming tails. If we apply our bar by bar analysis, the rhetoric of the news, I mean, as tactical traders, this says you got to be a buyer with a stop under the low. And now we'll see. Now that's a weekly time frame. That's a big bar. So can there be pullbacks in here that could be buyable? Sure. Ideally, it's not going to pull back very much. It's going to go sideways. And of course, the next question is, while it's stopped here at that 50 MA, which it bumped its head on, and there's really nothing much to the left there. Let's look at the hourly chart. And as you can see, that's really nothing. It's been dealt with here, and that's been dealt with here. And so all the gyrations back and forth, the Dow has been able to clear it. And that opens up the door to moving higher, unless we get a different pattern, like at a minimum break of a prior swing low here. We should be thinking it's going to go to the upside. Now, like we do every morning, we look to see other markets to see if they are in lockstep with the leader. So just this being our first chart to look at, the question is it the leader? So if the Dow is leading, the next step, and I'm not going to go and look at all the stocks in there, but what is leading the way here? That the Dow is moving up, clearing these highs. Why are they leading? Here are the NQs, and as we can see, they're not clearing the highs. They're bumping their head on the 50 MA as well, but the 50 MA in this case is lined up with this swing highs up here where sellers have come in aggressively before, which opens the question, is the Dow now a potential breakout failure? So this is something else that we need to keep an eye on here at the open, at the NASDAQ, and you can look at the NQs. But before I go there, you can see the same big green bar. So at the end of the day, is it a big green bar? Well, kind of black and white, uptrend, pullback, bottoming tails, 2 bars of indecision, big green bar, says coast is clear, buy it over the high. Big stop, but that's the message. Qs, yesterday was the gap up, right? So as we look at the ETFs, we get different pictures because there isn't the overnight trading. And often one of the questions is, well, which one do you go with? Well, a lot of that overnight trading is on low volume. Things start to move early where no one's really around. But then at the open, we get this gap. And, yesterday we had the gap, went a bit higher, and then the market went into a coma for the rest of the day. So we've got a gap up. Question now is that has created a void below. Prices are at resistance. Just looking here, that's 189-ish, which is right at the 50 MA. So another gap up from here into price resistance which says, hey, should we be thinking about a short here? Well, not yet. We'll watch this at the open to see what the reaction is. That's what we always do. And we look at a smaller time frame. That's not the one, like the 5-minute chart, and see what it's doing up there. So we got a bad tick, which often happens on the ETFs when volume is light. But we look at the NASDAQ futures, we get a nice clean picture. As where I said, they're up against the 50. So far, we've got a bullish type of consolidation. Even though it's kind of broken those lows here, it's kind of come back up at this, flaggish kind of a pattern. Probably if I turn it to a 15-minute, it would look cleaner as such. But in any event, you've got that strong move up, started at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is when the DAX opens up, and then the continued rally. And now it's theoretically trying to build support. All right. So don't mind that noise, guys. They're closing shutters here for this hurricane. Even though we got hurricane impact windows, you can never have enough protection. So we'll see what happens here at the open. And let's just go to the ES. Well, let's go with the spiders first here. Gap up yesterday, little move up and absolutely going nowhere. Similar pattern, right? We've had this similar pattern going on an awful lot over the last couple of weeks between markets. And looking at the weekly, assuming that this closes this way, we've got a 180 type of reversal. And ultimately, as you know, it's got to clear these highs. And it's going to, as it clears those highs, we want to see it kind of blast through that. And it would kind of be, I think, a good thing maybe if, that came on maybe the Fed cutting interest rates or some kind of news that we're not going to get blindsided by some, new tweet that's going on. So we'll see. ES here, same story, a similar pattern, big green bar, top of the range, a little stronger than the Qs, but bumping its head as well on the 50 MA there. So not quite clearing it with authority, but kind of like a little peekaboo above the range there. We'll see what happens here at the open. Oil, it's chop, but come back from that breakdown. So that's a good sign. And you can see the run up there on the 5, and the hourly just shows how it's pretty erratic still. Now bonds, markets up here, and these, I'm looking at comments on YouTube. You're welcome, everybody there. So gap down, that is helping support the equity markets here. And as I mentioned the last couple of days, with markets in these ranges and us trying to figure out, can it really break out? And, it moves up, makes these attempts, this chop. And what we want to see what would support that is bonds coming down and interest rates going up. And see, well, they went up and now they're coming back in again. So there's still that uncertainty about what's going on here. But anyway, if this will correct a bit, and this is just another thing to keep an eye on. So, and even as intraday traders, which since we're all here, we're interested in, taking advantage of what happens intraday. Markets like this, which are more difficult because of the news that affects it, we tend to watch more things for that clue of, hey, this is what's going to make the market really take off, or, hey, like bonds coming in hard, or, hey, all of a sudden bonds are starting to rip higher. Well, that's not a good sign for the market, and so on. So when things are more fluid, it's not, we tend not to look at all of these things because it doesn't matter. Everything's firing on all cylinders and trending in one direction or the other. And gold, just, the momentum is slowed down. Clearly, you can see, and how do we read that? Well, we don't do it with indicators, not here, Master Trader. We do it just by looking at price action. And those of you that maybe have indicators on your charts, well, just look at what's happening over not just this chart, but any chart. When you see a run like that, that stalls, and then it makes a new high and starts stalling, getting a red bar like that, your indicator will do this, right? And that's the whole shamil for the bearish divergence. But that doesn't violate the trend, right? Momentum slowing down does not change the trend. It would have to violate that swing low that we call major support. And then it doesn't meet the definition of an uptrend anymore. Common sense. No squiggly lines needed. All righty. And is there anything else? Oh, interestingly, all this thing that's going on. A week ago, we had this giant wide range bar on the euro retesting this bottoming tail, which looked like that was going to get turned around. Nope. No, that didn't happen either. So there's a lot of erratic price action, a lot of patterns that, and this is something that can be frustrating for those starting out. Those of us that have been doing this for a long time realize that, in a downtrend, these kind of patterns may not hold up. But, here's a retest pattern with bottoming tail and wide range bar, and it's failed. So that is it for me. Dan, it's all yours. I can stop the noise here.
All right, good morning. How's everyone doing? Yeah, remember yesterday I had the Dow, and I was tempted to sell puts on it just because that, was acting the best of the four. And now it's the best gap breakout. I see little MJ here popping. Look at MJ pre-market. We might have to scan the pot stocks today. All right, in the weekly options trader, we only have 2 open positions. Amazon got a nice gap up, and those both expire today. And Google for next week, and that looks great. You bought MJ 2 days ago? I don't know why. That's a nasty downtrend. But I'll definitely be watching it today. Okay, swing letter. We have a lot of opens. Old Cato here. Long stock, looks great. CNC. We had bear call credit spread, and actually that stopped out yesterday. So I'll update that. Stopped out at a gain. And we covered half already at 2/3 of maximum profit. CPB, I sent out a text alert this morning. We had a covered call on this as a core trade. And it's perfect. We sold the absolute perfect covered call, 45 cents. And well, let me give you all the alert actually. That is our strategy on managing it. Dish here broke out. Here, I'm not kidding. So Dish, we're long stock. EDU, we have a put spread. And that looks great. I tightened the stop yesterday. FLT, I moved the stop to Wednesday's low. We have a put spread. GMS, long stock. That was that 5-minute high yesterday. GNRC, covered call. Goldman, put spread for next week. KBH, put spread. MLM, put spread. MSI, long stock yesterday. PVG long calls, and yeah, there's going to be no juice to try to leg into a debit spread. RNG put spread says bobbling around, which is fine. Starbucks long stop, and we'll look about legging into a covered call. SRC, beautiful breakout. This is one we got a pig target, you know, somewhere in the low 50s. Finally, whiskey, we have a covered call. And that's it there. Let's look at some gappers. Dell is a mess, but gapping at 51 bucks. Maybe 30-minute high. ALXM, 102 and change. It's a bearish gap, but it's a bio. You know, maybe we'll see if it sets up for a day trade. Today's option expiration day, end of the month. Let's see if we can get some credit spreads, calls or puts, I don't care which. Now this was a FSLY, was on a tear, big bearish engulfing yesterday, but this is what we call an end of day decline. Look at that. From the 2 p.m. reversal, it was just a waterfall all day long, gapping up, going sideways. This is a day trade long setup if it sets up in the first 30 minutes. Look at this little guy. I love these consolidations like this in the upper third of this wide range. That was a beautiful breakout there on Wednesday. Mr. Big had earnings, 24.50. It's way the heck up here, nothing to do. There's our Campbell we talked about. MEI. I don't know if this is an earnings stock or if it's just one I had left over. But if we can get a 1, 2, 3, that looks good. No volume. No volume. Those were earnings. JKS. Very sloppy, but a bullish gap. Look at all this slop. 30-minute high candidate. Fro, that's one of those little shippers. Workday is all over the place, pre-market, no pattern. But this is actually a bear flag. On the daily and weekly, those are bear flags. And no, there's no volume, so it's hard for me to tell, but that's a put spread candidate. Ulta, it's the shellacking of the day, 254. Wow. That just shocks me. How a company can be in business this long, has had 4 earnings seasons per year, I mean announcements, and now look at this. You know, this weekly bar is still open, right? So when this if this closes at 250 today, just imagine a red bar way down here. That, and it's from an M top. That stock is damaged. Wow. Ooh, watching over here. Marble, that's 23.80. That's garbage. Lulu, I know one of you were asking me about a put spread yesterday, and I didn't know it was earnings today, but I said yes, if it closes like that. And now it's gapping up a little bit, so that's a great put spread candidate for today on Lulu. I like that. Amba, 56. Wow, that's a big gap. Wow. gapping way the heck up here. Gap's too big for me. Well, you did. Well, Gustav, what's wrong with the statement that you just made? The premiums don't adjust pre-market. So though you're looking at yesterday's. Okay. But yeah, pattern's not great, but if it can get above all this pre-market, yeah, no, I'll definitely be looking for credit spreads today. Yeah, the indexes are coming in from their pre-market consolidation. BBW, I think this was one from yesterday. Had that little gap up and got slammed. This poor thing still looks lower, but it's a $3 stock. Disney, this is definitely a put spread candidate. I think I looked yesterday and there was no juice. But I like that pattern. I like this red bar. And then the gap up, leaving a little head down here. And then an engulfing and a gap, leaving this entire island of support. Debbie's been watching this TERP, and I said, yeah, let it chop around here and rest a little bit more, and it still looks higher to me. GME, this was one I was watching as of last weekend from the Barron's article. Had a nice close. You know, if we get a 1, 2, 3 today, then that's worthy of a long for Monday. Yeah, I'm done with my gap list. Lift, Tilray is not moving, even though MJ did. Beyond, remember I was looking for a put spread. Actually, let's look at Beyond today for a put spread also. This recent IPO looks horrible. Greg's Coffee Shop doing nothing. There's an IPO, looks horrible. Fiverr. Tesla. Yeah, none of these are really great. Our Google looks good. Our Google looks the best out of the FANGs. Apple 210. I mean, if you can get a put spread under here for next week, 202.50s. Bitcoin broke down. All right, here's the pre-market here. So we're, rolling a little bit. So I'm in no hurry to do anything today. And so I'm done. With this Lulu actually is the best I got so far for put spread. That looks great. And, ideally the 185s. All right, so I'm done. I'll just mute it here for 2 minutes. All right. There's that beautiful bell. All right, see, MJ is all the way back down, so that was nothing. Lulu, looking at our opens here. We have 100% longs, our bullish positions rather. And so the only things, you know, down a few pennies, so all our positions are fine. Casey was one I was watching yesterday. Let's see if we can get a put spread on that. Head J, sloppy, but yeah, it's a reverse head and shoulders. You got left shoulder, head, right shoulder breaking out. Sloppy as can be, but you know, definite put spread also. Starbucks, yeah. See, I like the ones where they're like starting off a little red, because then if it triggers, we're already in it. And this would be one where we can leg into a covered call. So yeah, with market coming in and it kind of things are, this could just be a dead day. We'll see. Tick gapped open to 1,000. All right, 98s for next week. 90 cents. Premium's not that great. Let's go ahead and do the 99 calls on Starbucks and get 48 cents. Yeah, we got this storm we got to prepare for, as you all know, in South Florida. They still don't know where it's going. So like the whole state is under a watch right now, so they can, so no mandatory evacuations because they don't know.
Last I checked, Dan, looked like it was headed directly to your place.
Well, then I'm coming to your place.
No problem.
Oh, Lulu. Let's check Lulu put spread. Now, with the market coming in, Lulu put spread on over, you know, that pre-market 188 would be perfect. And I'll even consider one for next week. But let's take a look. So the 185s right now for today, 28 by 38. Oh, so Alex, were you the one that were telling me earnings are next week? Why did I think Lula was this morning? Yeah, next week, because yeah, the expected move by next Friday, $17.50, which is almost 10%. You know, that's a pattern that if you wanted to trade earnings, you could sell the 170s. Wow, for 170s for $2.50. Now, see, that's why when you core trade, I think you got rocks in your head not to sell expensive calls around them. So if you were long this as a core trade, you could sell this friggin' you could sell the 195s and give $5.50. That's what I would be doing if one of our consulting clients owned this one. I'd be doing it right now, sell the 195s. Look at this Ulta dog. Wow, that's a bearish pre-market right there, folks. I don't like trading, gaps that big, but that looks like a short right there. That's pain. That could fall another 10 bucks. Why not? 20. Why not? Flyman, your Roku worked well. Good job there. Wow, look at this GMS from yesterday. Remember Box? I said if we would get a 1, 2, 3, I'd be all over it on Monday. Look at that bullish 15-minute chart. It's not giving us the courtesy of a 1, 2, 3. It's just continuing. That is a late day breakout pattern right there. It's a different type of one. With this big old gap being, it's also a bearish gap that bullies trade. Well, it's really not as tight as we like for a late day breakout, but it's still a bullish pattern. The Dow stocks, actually the Disney that I was watching for put spread is coming in. McDonald's, nothing there. Everything else is green. Coke down 8 cents. Boeing had a beautiful run off that low, August low. Now beyond here is Perkin. Let's see if we can do a 164 for today. The 165s are 45 cents naked. That's a little tight, but things are still bullish, gapped up, but coming in calmly. So if they come in calmly and give us maybe a retest pattern or something, Then I'll consider selling puts on spiders that expire today. Qs, nah, they're at resistance, so Mondelez weekly, yeah. You know, Greg, if you turn your head to the right a little bit, like your dog does, then this is a reverse head and shoulders on the daily with the right shoulder lower. So you put your trend line right here, and there's your downside shakeout. And that's a buy, yeah, that's a buyable breakout right there. You got the whole concept of transfer of supply. You know,
Which chart are you looking at, Dan?
Mondelez daily.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tesla is actually the strongest FANG stock today. Wow, and this we had as a short watch, which I never triggered.
China is going to exempt them from some fees.
And you know what, though, folks? But this is also a fantastic example of how we manage our credit spreads along the way. Now we had a call spread over the high of that bar, the 227.50s, and then we covered half down here, or maybe not. Maybe when we sold them for like $1.24 or something. And I said bid a dime, and we got filled on our dime here at the lows. Otherwise, you'd be sweating bullets and stopped out already, and then have a gap on your hands. So we squeezed out 90-something% of the max gain, and you move on. We're on to the next bus. But now it looks like a put spread candidate. Yeah, things are still coming in here. So Greg, we got a put spread here, Greg, the 100s and the 90s. We had this discussion yesterday. Where should our new stop be?
What could the spread be worth if you got those strikes?
I'm checking now, because then the next question is going to be, why don't we just cover it into strength? So yesterday we covered half. It's 66% of max gain.
How could it be that much with a move like that? When is the expiration? Like a month from now?
3 weeks.
Mm.
No, we're definitely getting out right now. Definitely. The current debit is 18 cents. So this is another fantastic example. We're getting 85% of max gain to avoid 3 weeks of risk. Alex, you really, to be accurate, you need, option software to do that, because they're moving parts. It depends, is volatility rising or contracting, how many days to expiration when you're filled. But if I can give you based on the current prices, all you do is look at the option quotes and you go up or down the chain. So let's say your stop was $2. Then you just, you go up $2 and you see what the price would be. So that's my kind of quick cheating way to do it. No, we were in that one 10 days. That was a long one. Our FLT doing well. Whoa, Campbell soup. Nice. So we're short the 45s, and I said just let them have it. Had a nice gain there. MSI to new highs. We're long stock. No, they don't have any weekly options to leg into a covered call, but the 185s are about $1.80. Let's do that. MSI, sell the 180s.
While Dan isn't talking, he's updating something. That's why you don't hear him. And
yeah, I'm updating this covered call. Workday is ugly.
put call ratio popped up toward 1.3. We know what happened earlier in the week when it went to 1.5. Market didn't go down. Doesn't mean it. Obviously, it's somewhat weak here heading toward the gap fill. So high put call ratio doesn't mean it's going to turn on a dime. Right now, it's at 1.166, but the alert went off at 1.3 and it's pulling back from there. Debbie, looking at the 24-hour 5-minute chart, you could have shorted the breakdown as soon as it started to roll over or the retracement back up into it. Now, you've got the unfilled gap down below. So that's, calling in a sense, but this is a setup that you really shouldn't expect a big move in that, the Russell is the weakest, so that would have been the one to do. But because of the unfilled gap there, that's like in an uptrend as it gapped up, and the 24 hours trending down. So you just need to understand that it definitely could have been shorted, as that the weaker and the other markets were up at the top of the trading range. But the setup between the markets is one in which you need to have that experience to recognize that what's going on there between these markets and multiple, day chart, 24-hour chart. That's the short end. It's an okay setup, but I wouldn't expect it to be some huge trending move. But the bias to consider a short was correct.
Yep, just drifted in here. That's all right, nice leg in there to MSI. Let's go through these real quick, see if any of these gappers set up. Dell over the high would be a put spread, the 97s. Mr. Big coming in, MEI. That's the one I said as a 1, 2, 3. I like that for Monday. JKS. Delta. That's that short I mentioned, pre-market. Remember? Look at that. Remember I said it can fall $10, $20? It already fell 10. Nice. That gap's too big for me. That's a mess. Disney. I like the 2-bar reversal. It's a put spread idea, but I'm not doing anything with the market coming in. Just building a watch list. All right, Turf got rejected, so I'm done with you. GME, I'll still watch for Monday. Lyft is still weak. Oh, the PMI. Hey, Greg, any ideas for MT Live?
Haven't given it a thought.
Why? There's nothing else going on right now in the South Florida. That's a no-brainer put spread candidate. Reverse head and shoulders. If there was any juice at the 10s, let me look. Only 15 cents. But, you know, when I say only 15, I'm sorry, well, it's 15 by 25. So that's if you can get 20 cents. But if you think about it, that's still, it meets my test because it's 2% of the short strike. And it's 9% away, the strike. It's 3 weeks to expiration, but still the math makes sense. CEF, that's gold. Silver's been on a tear. That's put spread idea. NEWM, but under 10 bucks, it's hard to get anything. Never heard of this. Diplomat Pharmacy? So it's a reverse head and shoulders on the weekly, but it needs to break out. AMD still range bound. All right, we got our reversal bars here. Let's check the spiders now, if we're so inclined, but I would prefer a little retest. But the 187s for today. I am sorry, those were the Qs. It would be the 292. 292 is only 17 cents, about $2 away. It's an idea. We'll keep an eye on it. Ah, there's that box reversal from yesterday. Now, this one still has room on the monthly, but it's at the top end of the range now. But if it can go sideways for a while, I like this as a put spread. ENR. This is the Energizer Bunny, right? That's breaking out. That's a price void. $35, so 15 by 30. There's a big kind of W bottom. Oh, I like the weekly too. There's a put spread candidate. I like. Let there be juice at 110. 55 by 75, $5 wide's only 37 cents, but that could be a directional to it. And then we could leg into a covered call. Oh, my bad. I'm not sharing it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've been scanning here. Sorry about that. So yeah, look at this. It's a big W bottom. It's at resistance. Climactic buy setup on major support. I'm going to keep an eye on the old Mohawk. MSI. 180. No, 180 is too tight, Peter, for me, for a put spread. But what can you get for the 175? Excuse me. APPN, wow, that's been on a tear. This little guy breaking out, but here, region, is that a bio? Yeah, region's a bio, but that's breaking out. Let's see about the 90s. Hey, they're very juicy. The 90.85 is 90 cents. And Greg, I know it's a bio, but do you like that put spread with a disclaimer?
What were the strikes?
90, 85.
When's earnings? November.
3 weeks, $1.05, even if you get filled at $1, that is 25% return on capital.
1 second. 1 second. RGN. Let's just take a look at what might be reporting earnings that's in the same sector. Just not to get blindsided by that. All right.
And take a look at Mohawk also. It's making new highs right now.
There's some CDMO going to report on the 5th, but it's a low price stock. I don't think it'd have much of an effect. Not one. The only one I'd really be concerned in is Biogen, but that's not until the end of October. So earnings isn't a concern of other stocks within the sector that I see.
Right. All right, well, I'll give it over the high with a disclaimer. Now take a look at Mohawk here. What do you think? Daily, weekly?
Yeah, bottoming pattern.
Yeah. All right, let me write this up. Q's the weakest here. They came in and then that reversal bar closed with a topping fail, and now it's threatening the lows. Well, JB Hunt, relative strength in the transports.
This is so stupid. I never do this kind of things.
There, that's a 1, 2, 3 for Monday. Oh, that's a gold stock. Yeah, we stopped out of our 2 gold positions with gains yesterday. It's a nice weekly. Holding the upper half of this bar, 180 reversal, breakdown failure here. This WPC at all-time highs, but it's sloppy. MAC in an ugly downtrend. Hey, there's, oh, at first this kind of sideways. I thought it was your stock you gave me earlier. All right, yep, new lows and Qs. Oh, Netflix is tanking. On the 15-minute chart. Amazon, I moved the stops to yesterday's low. We have 2 way out of the money put spreads. Let me see what our 1740 is. That's the tighter one. We have the 1700s also. 1700s are 2 cents. 1740s, 11 cents. I'll just let it play out. That's an ugly gap. Next. This is a beautiful short here. BGS. Earnings 1029. If that closes like that, that is a no-brainer short for Monday. It's extended on the 5-minute, but you know, if market's coming in here, you know what? Let's short the low.
And I'm not sorry, not paying full attention to what's going on market wise, taking care of some stuff here, but just looking around, this is like a little crazy. Meaning, you've got the Russell showing a little relative strength. The spiders are holding a prior low, and the Qs are filling a gap. It's kind of for a better word, out of sync, kind of retarded. Better said, something's gonna, one side or the other is gonna blindside the other side of it. Oil's falling pretty hard here.
Yes, it is. It's working.
Has the office manager killed anybody lately?
No, they've been cooperating. She had some of the people here helping, bringing stuff from outside inside and getting things closed up. And it's
But if you have all your storm shutters on, how do you, and then you lose power, then you have no light.
well, that's true. But you know, she wants to be protected. We've got storm impact windows.
Right.
You know, she wanted to close what shutters are there. Well, we've got lights. We got, you know, a bunch of battery operated lights, extra batteries. The whole thing is, you know, if we lose power, it seems like it's going to come right here. I'm just going to go to, I mean, as long as they don't have an evacuation, I'm just going to go to one of the local hotels here and take my laptop and an extra monitor and hang out for a couple of days.
Yep. But do you think you need to make a reservation?
Well, the problem is to know where it's going. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of places here, but the last time I did that, and then they called an evacuation, they said, sorry, no one can be here. And then that's when I, you know, went to Orlando.
Right. But then, you know, another minor problem is, you know, you'll have a cancellation fee because they aren't stupid.
That's at least the problem. Then no, there was no cancellation fee because the city called an evacuation.
Oh, right. But I mean, right. But I mean, if you do it now.
Yeah.
I still got this old Ruby on my list. If it can go.
I'll tell you what the real nightmare is. And I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, the way it looks like it's getting closer, according to the track, the way it is, it's going to be more toward you, actually to West Palm Beach, but that's a moving target. But the problem is, okay, you know, you wait to see what it is. Yes, it's coming here. And you get on the road to go. Freaking parking lot nightmare.
Right. Absolutely.
So you can use one of these apps that'll show you the traffic that's there. But, you know, if you're going to go, it's probably best to leave like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Agree. But where would you even go?
West. I don't know.
Yeah, this work day, that's an ugly breakdown there. That would be a no-brainer call spread. $190s, 50 cents. That's an ugly weekly too. Yeah, that's the one I said this morning was a bear flag. Look, bear flag there, bear flag on the weekly also with a price wood. We should have been watching that one tighter. There's our BPS. Campbell Soup. They're going to be taking our merchandise from us, which is totally fine. That's what Greg calls a bullish new low divergence. Does anybody want to explain to me what that means? All right, so nasty move, you know, it made a pivot. So that is a major pivot. Now this is a major pivot, you know, lower lows, lower highs. We made a lower low, right? We made a lower low, but the distance from this low to this low is significantly lower. You don't got great lows here, but so that's where your oscillators will show a bullish divergence. And it's kind of a W pattern with a lower right W. We just interpret it the same. But yeah, that's a bullish bottom. And look at the 15-minute chart, looks higher for a day trade. Relative strength, it's at the high. Markets are at the lows. Yeah, that's a day trade long pattern right there, folks. And a put spread candidate. If there were anything for next week, I will look since McGraw can't speak. There's no good strike, only 17.5. I don't know why they do that. I mean, they're in the business of being option market makers. Why the heck don't they give us even dollar strikes? We'll get a lot more business. There's that's beyond, that's a put spread candidate. You know, that was an ugly breakdown. Got his C legs back, consolidating at resistance, breaking out. Yeah, I mentioned that today at the 165s. Bottoming pattern floor, but you're still swimming upstream. Papa Delta, that's a 1, 2, 3. PagerDuty Inc. It's amazing how many companies I've never heard of. It's fairly new IPO. What the heck is a PagerDuty? That's a crazy name. Put spread. Yeah, I like that put spread idea. Bust it out. I like this little 2-bar reversal. Let's see if there's anything for the 13s. Nope, I got 12.5, it's only 15 cents. All-time, wow, clack. How did we miss that one yesterday, Greg? That was quite the relative strength. Negating this. Look, that was a bull island reversal right there, folks. Look, gap down, ugly red bar, gapping over the high. I wouldn't have traded it that day myself because there was no price void, but look, it got its C legs back. Red bar ignored, engulfing. Yesterday was the day. And then even on Wednesday, you could have said, you know what, I'm going to go home with a half lot. That looks great. Yeah, George, thanks. So Greg, he's trying to give us a word of advice there. I mean, there were some people saying, oh, it's going to miss you because we're on the south side of it, whatever. So don't, your boat should be fine. And I'm like, no way. Greg and I both got our respective boats out of the water yesterday. But yeah, in terms of leaving, I mean, you could be right. It is getting concerning. I mean, my plan was going to be just call all my friends, whoever, if my power goes out, and see who has power, and then go hang out there. We got beautiful juice on Clack. Please don't be earnings. Good. I got a trade here for us, folks. Market's coming in, though. Yeah, I'll come back to Clack. Twitter's in a big sideways range, Devanos, so there's nothing to do right now. I like the 1, 2, 3 on the monthly, but it's just bobbling around here. You got resistance, you got support, but maybe if you wanted to start nibbling, if you have a bullish bias, let it close like this, and then maybe a half lot Monday over today's high, and then the other half lot, go to an hourly and find a pivot in here. You don't even have to wait for the all time. I mean, somewhere in here you can do the back half. You know what? I'm going to call. You know what? My rich buddy lives down the street. I'm going to call him right now because he has an airplane. And if he says he's flying out of here, then you got a good point, George. I might see if I can hitch a ride with him. Hold on, I'm going to call him right now. All right, I called him. He said I said, what are your plans? What are you doing? He says, freaking out. So he's still here. And he says, he's from St. Louis. He's, this is just one of his many houses, his nice little $8 million Fort Lauderdale house, but he has 800 acres in St. Louis. And he says his wife flew in to go to the Rolling Stones concert, which was tomorrow night, but they moved that up to tonight. And then he says he might fly out tomorrow. And I said, all right, well, if you do call me, I might want to hitch a ride. And he says, all right. So that's my backup plan. All right, back to clack. I like the old clack. Wow, the juice is amazing. Amazing. Hey, did any of you watch that show? The A-Team? Do you remember Mr. T? Pitiful, right. So, oh no, it wasn't right. Right. I got the wrong character. What was the guy? Was it Face? What was the guy who said, "I love it when a plan comes together"? That's what I'm thinking about on clack. Our put spread is coming together. Is that Murdoch? All right, good. You all remember. Let's do it right here. I don't even need to wait for a high because I'm going to do it far away. What movie was that from? A Planet Far, Far Away. Why am I thinking of all these movies? Star Wars? Okay, we're going to do Far, Far, Far Away. Selling September. Galaxy Far Away. We're going to do the 135s, 125 put spread for 70 cents. Stop. I'm just going to give it, I'm going to give it a, let's let it go over this one little pivot over 148.50. Just in case the market wants to do another leg down. Because it's right there, so it's only like 15 cents. And the stop, I'm going to give it an arbitrary 134, which is $1 under major support. Okay, it just hit. It's there right now, and it's still 70 cents. I better watch the news myself. I got music on. Listening to Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Very nice on Clack. Oh, I even put in a new alert that more aggressive traders can do the 140, 130 with a stop under 140. Oh shit, Greg, you're right. They're saying, shit. They're saying it might land between Boca and Jupiter. And Lauderdale is one city south of Boca.
Yeah, well, I guess from there, an hour north, south of that, which would definitely have a lot of rain and whatever, but not as severe.
It still says advisories pending. Wow.
Well, there's an update at 11 o'clock. Yeah. Been here, seen a lot of these things, George.
But George, I appreciate your concern, and that doesn't mean that we aren't concerned.
I mean, they do damage, no doubt. They blow roofs off and, structures. I mean, one time I saw one of these structures that, people here, they put their boats where they're stacked up on a rack. And I saw could have been like 500 plus boats laying on top of each other.
Ooh, 10 to 15 foot storm surge. Not good. Let's go to our opens here. Cato, we're long stock. I think it's time to sell half. We're expecting somewhere between 6 to 12 inches of rainfall, with some spots even reaching as high as 15 to 20 inches of rain. So what we do know so far is that Dorian continues to strengthen and will slow down before it makes landfall along the east coast of Florida. The question is, where will it make landfall? That will depend on the high pressure system pushing out towards the west. We'll have a closer look at that track, closer look at the forecast coming up in just a bit. All right, Erica, thank you. As we continue tracking Dorian, tidal trouble is a cause for concern, especially for us this weekend. King tide is a natural and predictable phenomenon when tides are at their highest point. So the cycle begins when the moon is very close to Earth, which happens to be today, and that is not the only thing to worry about. Storm surge is a big danger. Officials are readying up and preparing for the worst. We've been working on preparing for king tide for the last month. There is significant rainfall that we may experience flooding or temporary flooding throughout the city. We're getting our facilities ready, pump facilities. We're planning as if the storm were going to be here Monday morning. High water sometimes pose a bigger threat than intense winds, whether it be through floods, surges, or tides. And South Florida not the only city stocking up and Florida. Cities all along the coastline are making those last minute preparations
as a point of impact, the Dorian remains unclear right now, and some of the Clinton reports residents in Vero Beach are taking the chances.
Just before sunset, Wayne Bowman is off work and outside his Vero Beach home, shuttering up.
Well, I've been here for 20 years, so it's like it's better safe than sorry.
Dwayne knows the drill. Don't take chances with a storm like Dorian. Many of his neighbors are also getting ready.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And very nervous and anxiety and everything.
Drivers hoping the night trip to the gas station would save them from long lines on Friday, gassing up cars, filling up portable tanks.
Yeah, a lot of gas, but you know, when you're running generators and whatnot, it goes pretty quick. And if we're out of power for a little while, you know, got to be prepared.
And some gas stations are empty and closed because they have totally run out of gas.
Just came out and thought it would be no problem getting gas, and everything is sold out.
Supermarkets are slammed with people buying essentials. Water is still easy to come by, but you can sense the anxiety level with shoppers. What's people's mood right now here?
Apprehensive, they're nervous, they're frightened. The fear of God's in them.
The coast along Vero Beach was calm and peaceful Thursday, but it's the unknown of exactly where and when Dorian will hit, has so many here on edge.
Well, everybody's nervous, you know, it's already bumped up to a category 4, and it's coming right in on top of us, so it's going to be a tough ride.
This may pointing out that they will be closing the beaches here at 5 p.m. on Friday, but we keep people off the sand over the weekend while they prepare for the storm. In Vero Beach, Ryanington today in Florida.
All right, and closer to home, of course, all across South Florida, people preparing, and Christine, we're getting a lot of messages from our friends and neighbors about the preparations and the timeline for the storm, and we've been asking ourselves here, someday we should be getting some effects of it, so the best day to prepare is today and tomorrow. Right, as Viv has been telling us, along as Erica and the 7 Weather team, the great news with this storm is that we've had so much time to prepare, and now that it's actually slowed down, we'll even have an extra day not to prepare, to just get a grip over us, but by tomorrow, as you mentioned, everything should be done. People have been gassing out, we've seen those online. We know that they have their supplies, so now it's just a matter of, you know, waiting and seeing exactly where the storm goes. That's right, as far as preparing your home, as you found out this morning, trying to put up shutters and everything. So we want to get that done by tomorrow, because Sunday when we start experiencing some bad weather, it's the last place you want to be, up on a ladder, trying to put those shutters up. All right, and a quick reminder that the biggest problem with the system right now, as Viv and Erica have been telling us, is the fact that it is moving so slowly. And as we heard from the director of the National Hurricane Center, at this particular juncture, when something is slow, it is not your friend, because that means it just hovers over us. So we don't want that, because that would, of course, mean a prolonged time of intense winds and rain. That's right, and of course, throughout South Florida, we've been showing you, trying to help you out as far as the lines, what areas to avoid, schools to head to, that might have those shorter lines. Gas stations we're seeing all across South Florida, right now, from very early this morning, packed with people getting those last-minute supplies and gasoline, right?
That's right. I mean, when do you see people packed at a gas station at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning? Right now, we're at the Costco in North Miami off Northeast 151st and Biscayne. And as you can see, traffic is moving here, but this is a rather large Costco. You have 6 different rows with 3 pumps at each row. So folks are spending about, you know what, a couple minutes, and then they get to move on. One guy, unfortunately, has some car trouble here, so he's being towed. But we know that this is a situation everywhere all across South Florida. We know several Costco locations, including this one.
All right, so all alerts are updated now.
So between 5 and 6 o'clock, some folks actually got
TD.
managed to ask yesterday, the day before, hey, when are you opening?
Yeah, it's bearish consolidation and a downtrend.
We were out here, there was no line. You came in and you left 5 minutes later, so that was pretty great to see. Some folks who wanted to avoid all this traffic.
I like the Monday under the entire base TD.
Some folks were waiting in line to go in Costco. The one thing I have to bring up here that has been incredible to see, whether you are on social media or you're not, or however you feel about
Our
it,
BGS hit short. I like this one better, Alex, than that TD, because this one's triggered with no support to the left.
Miami Beach Police Department, they were on Twitter asking folks to share, where is there still gasoline available? WSBN, we have been asking our viewers to share, where can you find gas? And it has been incredible social media, and it's been really great. People can tune into Facebook, Twitter, and that's how many people are just figuring out where to go, where to avoid. So right now, I have to say it's been pretty quiet. You know, we keep it crazy, but we haven't heard much honking. So anyone who will be having to get some gas sometime today, we do ask you to be patient. You know, if you're going to come out here, expect to be here for quite some time. So this is a situation here. It is pretty calm. It is not terrible. We do expect it to get busier. We know many people are working today, but again, we cannot emphasize enough. You are out anywhere in Miami. We have talked to several people, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, I live in Miami. It's already driving a little crazy." So if you're out on the road, expect it to get to be a little hectic. So we really have to remind ourselves.
Yeah, but are you gonna get it?
We're all a little anxious about what may be
Yeah,
happening.
no, I had big old nasty breakdown on the hourly. But our stop is just, well, actually I gave the stop over the week's high. But a more realistic stop is yesterday's high or today's high.
Gas Buddy. Not for everything. Gas Buddy apparently is a good place to go to find those shorter lines for gas. So for those of you wanting to get more quickly in and out.
Or Uber.
Yeah, let's head to a Publix now at Miami Shores. Want to talk to Ethan Callaway. He said, you know, one of the things I noticed this morning, when we talk about Publix and groceries in general, a lot of people now have them delivered. So I went on that app that they offer to see if they're still delivering groceries. Now, here's the catch. Because I guess so many people have been doing it, if you were to
Did I scan all these? 168? I remember Clack. Yeah, I think I do. I scanned this whole list.
Some information that I wanted to pass on to viewers before we got to you, because some people don't have, you know, cars right now, or they're concerned about losing
Look at that.
gas. So that's
Oh, we're in a GNRC.
Tell me about what you're seeing at Publix.
Isn't that beautiful? There's a Bear 123. I like that. GLNG for Monday. There's Box. APO is a beast. It's kind of reverse head and shoulders on the monthly even. Shoulder, head, shoulder, new high. Strong. XPO, this would be a put spread candidate, 65s. This ain't bad. Yes, well, $5 wide's 50 cents. That's 3 weeks. I'll keep an eye on that. But I'm not doing it with the market falling here. And let me get through the rest of these. There's bottoming pattern, but put spread. Oh, Mohawk, we already talked about him. Yeah, so that's why I think I went through all these. Here's a minor bull sandwich with a climactic monthly. That looks lower. Yeah, let me check a call spread on that. Let me just get through the rest of these. All right, done with that. TMOS. Yeah, it needs a something. Otherwise, it just looks like a dead animal. All right, plan. Wow, the 5560s. If you think today's high is not going to be violated. It's $1.05.
Hey, Dan. I was helping a neighbor close his shutters. Someone on YouTube mentioning CSX. Did you guys look at that yet as a put spread?
No, but you look. I know we like $60 calls for a call spread here, but the 60s are only 30 cents.
So 60 is far away.
No, I know, but so, I mean, what's your thought on doing it over today's high? 55.60 is $1.10. That's huge.
CSX. You want? Oh, you mean what you're looking at? Plan
Yeah.
over today's high? I wouldn't do that.
Right.
That thing looks like it's going to dive.
Wait.
You want to
No.
do a call spread
Yes.
above 60?
No. Today's high to get juice.
I suppose. When does it expire?
3 weeks.
Oh no. I wouldn't do it. You know, McGraw would probably do it.
McGraw will probably do it. CSX. No, I didn't look at this one. Yeah, for next week I would do it. Another one that's even stronger. Look at JB Hunt.
65.50 for next week's 15 by 24. Not much juice there. You got to get too close to it.
Right. Let me see what JB Hunt hundreds are.
14 days. Oh.
$5 wide on this is only 30 cents for 3 weeks. Well, back to plan. Would you short that as a swing on Monday?
Yeah.
Close or like this?
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't Monday market close?
Tuesday. So I texted my buddy with the airplane. I said, hey, are you sure you'll be able to request your plane? Because it's a NetJets thing on short notice in the middle of a storm. And he says, yep.
What kind of plane is it?
It's a friggin' 12-seater, whatever, jet. It's amazing. It's like 25 million bucks. And he bought it 25% ownership.
Yeah, definitely worth setting alarms at, you know, that and the tick. Just one of the tools that, you know, gives us some guidance to see what happens.